Alright, this is a video dedicated to when weird stuff happens to your tower and you don't know why. So, I'll try to do my best to do this really badly. But I'll start good. So I'll do a rectangle, and I know I gotta dimension it, so let me do this 5. And if you freak out, please make sure that you check, and this is 12. Alright. Some of us are having problems with offset and all kinds of stuff. So I've shown you how to copy and mirror, but sometimes these little dimensions get in the way. So like right now, I tried to move a dimension and it didn't want to let me because it's saying sketch dimension already exists. So here's problem number 1. Cancel, hit escape until this is no longer blue. Until this turns off or is no longer blue. So see how everything's just white? Now I can move this. See? And I can move this around. So that's one problem. Step 1, hit escape a whole bunch of times until you can get back to normal. Alright. Let's say I draw some lines and I start drawing and I'm like, well, yeah, I want my tower to look cool and I want to do all these lines, and I want to do it like this, and I don't want it symmetrical because I'm artistic. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to draw all these lines the hard way. See how this bumped up? Keep your eye out for stuff like that. Okay, and now I'm just going to offset a whole bunch. I'm going to offset that, and I want a dimension. And I'm going to know that, okay, I want this 0.125. And I want to, keep going. So I want to keep offsetting. And I want to do all of these things. Once again, I'm doing it the long way. 0.125. I'm going to offset this one. Oh! Adding this dimension will over-constrain the sketch. Choose accept to create a driven dimension. Don't ever pick accept. Always click cancel. If you get that message, that means you have too many dimensions showing up, and if you do more, it's gonna lock in your picture and it tends to do weird stuff, so you don't really want that. So, see how this is blue? I want to hit escape till it's gone. And then I want to get rid of some of these now that I know I don't need them. So I can delete that, and I can delete that one, and then I can keep offsetting. So let's do this again. See how I don't get an error message? Watch, 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 watch. Look, look, look. 0.125. Bam! So that's an example. Sometimes you can have too many dimensions turned on, and it actually works against you. So I can keep offsetting and see how that turns into one line, but this turns into something else. Okay, remember that because these worked differently. So I got to dimension this stuff. 0.125, enter, and I'm going to dimension this stuff. Notice I'm clicking on the line, and it's doing the space in between. 0.125. Okay. Whoa. That made this skinny, but it made this really wide. So once again, I probably have too many dimensions turned on. It's telling me to save. Hopefully I'll do that in a second. So I'm gonna see how this is blue. I don't want it blue. Escape, escape, escape. So let me turn off some of these things, and let me delete this stuff. And I'm going to delete that one because I know I don't need it anymore. Okay, now I can keep going. 0.125. enter, and now it moved it over here. Let's see, point 125. Ah, now I'm better. But see, I gotta do it on the bottom. Usually offset works okay, and sometimes it'll do it all at once, and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so I got that. Let me double check this is still 5. Whew, so far so good. Here's another thing that happens. We can escape. I was doing that to get out of dimension. Because if I'm on dimension, but then I click trim, sometimes it'll do it. Right now it did. So I can trim, and some people do it one click at a time, which takes a long time. Okay, that can go, that's slow. So if you haven't done anything with trim, or if you forget, you can trim, but you can click and hold it and just drag. Please be careful. And if you have to click one thing at a time, let's say I lost my mind and I start trimming and I go here, boop. Oh, I just deleted a line. Oh, snap. First thing, I can just go Control Z, bring it back. That's the same thing as going over here and clicking undo. Okay? Now let's say I'm trimming and then I trim too far. Let me find one that, so I trimmed that and I was like, ah, shoot. Well, if you forget and you start clicking on stuff and you're like, oh man, now I lost a stick, just draw them back in, really. So I can pan this around. You can draw them back in one of two ways. See how I still got these two nubs? I can go extend. Okay, that's the easiest way. See how that is a black line? So bam, bam. So that's one option, especially if you trim and it turns out too short. Like there, and then you trim again and you do that. So you can go Control Z, undo, or you can use this extend if you need to make those sticks or those lines any longer. Okay, so here's a few examples of things that can go wrong and how to fix them. Always watch your dimensions. If you want to dimension it out when the lines are single, so that you can make your life as easy as possible when you're building. Now I got good eyes, man. Whew, I got two that they're exact same dimensions. This dimension will over-constrain the sketch. Choose accept. No. I'm going to cancel and I'm going to delete stuff. So I got to escape to get out of this dimension. Escape. And I'm going to delete all these things that I know I'm done with. I'm going to hold on to this 12 because sometimes if you delete these big dimensions like the 5 and the 12, when you change your sketch, it'll shrink the tower or expand it and you won't realize it. So always try to hold on to these bigger dimensions, and if you can get rid of and delete the smaller ones, please do so. Alright, finally, let's say, oh man, I want this to be 3. See how that got it all wacky? If I did this here, change it to 3. Okay, so I messed it up even more. It's locking in this dimension and some of this dimension. And then everything else is just going out of whack. Because it's shrinking this space that used to be bigger, and same thing here. So the lines with dimensions lock, the lines without dimensions move. So I'm going to click undo and undo one more time. If you find yourself like this, let's go ahead and delete, well, I could delete this 12. And if I stretch this, if I edit this one, it might still do it. But I want you to notice what happens with the rest of the tower. See how it shrunk? So it's always best to hold on to that 12 as when you can, and you want to do your dimensions early before you do any double lines, any offsets. So make sure everything's squared away. So that's enough for now. I hope you can be able to undo some of your work, or if it's in such a mess, just start over. And do another sketch on the side, and then just keep going. Always keep it, finally, just one sketch. You don't want 2 or 3 sketches, you just want the one. And you'll know it's that one because everything shows up in white when you hover over it. If you click on it, they turn blue. Okay? So, I hope that helps you while I'm gone, and anytime that you need to get a hold of me, but you don't know what to do. Okay?